Welcome to the Shogun Social Podcast. This is episode 7, I think, now. We have a very special guest today. Normally, we will go over social media trends, favorite things, favorite creators, and things we hate about the world of social media every week, every couple of weeks. This week, we have a special guest, Tenchy'sTREDZ, an Instagram account that we really like and we think is doing something a bit different. And that's why we want to get Luke on the show and see what he has to say, explain how he's working social media, and how he's enjoying it, and any kind of tips as well that he can share. So let's go through. My name is George, and we have
Freddie.
And like I said, we have
Luke.
Awesome.
From Tenchy'sTREDZ.
Tenchy'sTREDZ. Awesome. Yeah, good to talk to you then, Luke.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
Been chatting already today. It sounds really cool what you're doing. What kind of things, so like people who have no idea what Tenchy'sTREDZ is, please can you explain how it all works? What is it? What's the account? What's the goal? What's the business? What do you do? What's Tenchy'sTREDZ?
Okay, so, I mean, it sounds simple enough. So I restore and maintain people's footwear.
Nice.
Can be anything from your favourite sort of sports brands right up to your, more treasured designer stuff. So yeah, just from general maintenance to full restorations or customs. That's pretty much what I do.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, that's you described it exactly. However, the account itself, I think, is a bit more exciting than how you described it. Because the account is so cool. Like you've got these before and afters.
Yeah.
That's what I think is so cool about your account is anybody instantly just get it. You go, oh, I understand what they're doing. Like this is before, it's like trainers looking dirty with some, model and whatever. Swipe, brand spanking new, pristine, shiny trainers. That's what I think is quite cool. Is like, yeah, you've described your business, but when you describe your Instagram account, like how would you describe that? Like, are you trying to kind of like, how do you describe it?
I mean, the first things first on your Instagram account is to be very clear on what I do and the results I can achieve. So, like what you said there, everything is sort of laid out. You see a dirty trainer, you swipe, you see the same trainer, clean, in the same angle. And then you swipe again, you see a different angle of a dirty trainer, swipe again, same angle, clean trainer. Yeah. On the face of it, when you look at the page itself, can look a little bit boring because everything's facing the same way and things. But I like to keep everything uniform and consistent, so to speak. So like you say, when people look at it, they know what they're looking at and it's easy to digest. But at the same time, the page in the business does have my name on it. So I do like to put a little bit of myself in there every now and again. So I might share something that interests me or something I know that might interest my followers, and so on. Yeah, I try not to keep it as rigid as being a business account. So I talk to a lot of people and a lot of my regulars on a personal level as well now. So, I do try to share bits and bobs that I think will interest people as well.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I get that. I mean, you say you like to keep it uniform, almost as if it's I think, did you use the word boring just then? I don't think it is. Like, no, that's fine. No, good, yeah, because you said something like that, and I thought, no, it's not dull. It's good. It's people know what they get. Yeah. And I think it's like an episodic thing. Yeah. Almost. You go, oh, I know that pair of trainers. Like I've seen that online, and then you swipe, then you see another one. I think having the same format is a good thing. Probably that's a strength.
I think what I've tried to do is obviously doing what I do, and I guess to anyone new within any sort of business, is they study what other people are doing in the same sector, and they try not to copy them, but try to do something a little bit different as well. So, a lot of the guys I know up and down the country that are doing what I do, they try to overcomplicate things a little bit, I think, and they try to be a little bit too fancy with their before and afters and things like that, whereas I just try to keep it nice and simple, dirty trainer, clean trainer, and my name. That's that.
I've seen some people where they do the after and they have like rapper music in the background and they do it all slow and stuff. But yours works. It's exactly like George said. People go on there and they know what they're getting.
Yeah. I do the odd video. I'll do the odd video, and I have terrible editing skills. I've just got a simple app that makes it look like it changes in my hand. And I'll put a little bit of music over it, but I'll throw one of them in maybe once or twice a week. Sometimes I'll leave it for a couple of weeks just to freshen things up a little bit, or if it's a particularly good turnaround, then I'll do a video. But no, I mean, I try to keep it just pictures, just often.
Yeah, no, that's cool. How did the company start then?
So I'll go right back to the beginning. So me and my family, we moved out of our original flat right at the beginning of lockdown. We moved into her parents to try and save some money for our own house. And then lockdown happened. And then I was put on furlough 6 months after that, whilst living with our mum. So that right there is kind of a blessing in disguise, because we wouldn't have been able to afford the rent or anything on our flat if we'd stayed there before we moved out. So we moved out there. Then I was put on furlough for 6 months. And then whilst I was on furlough, I was bored like everyone else. I've always tried to look after my trainers ever since I was young, sort of growing up in a poor family. We just tried to make everything last and as long as it would. So yeah, I've always looked after my trainers and picked up little tricks here and there. And I had a few pairs in the wardrobe that were looking a little bit run down, and I just thought, you know what, I've got nothing else to do. Let's try and fix up my trainers. And I had a couple of good results, and shared them on Facebook, and I had a few people say, can you do this to mine? Can you do this to mine? And then it kind of just snowballed from there, really. Like I had a gent drive in from Portsmouth, and he said, I've got 20 pairs of shoes. Can you do that to mine? And I was like, yes. And he's like, I'll pay you for it and all this. And
was that like per pair you charged?
Yeah. So, nice, I mean, at first I had no idea what I was charging anyone. I was just sort of like, yeah, okay, I'll do that for £5 a pair. Like, you know, because I didn't have a clue what I was doing. So, and I was just passing time at the time. So yeah, it started off like that. And then as I shared more and more, I had a couple of people say, you know, I'd like to invest in you. You've got a business idea here. And these people were strangers. I had no idea who they were, so I didn't know who I could trust, who I couldn't. And but I kind of took it with a pinch of salt. It's just a compliment, you know, I'll just carry on doing it. And then it kind of got so busy. Our bedroom in our mum's house was just full with people's wet trainers because they're drying on our wardrobes, and dirty trainers over the floor and all that. And then one of my friends said, look, we would like to see if we can get you doing this full time. You know, you're clearly busy. You've hardly put yourself out there. Let's see if we can get you going. And again, you kind of take it, it's not a bad idea. And at the time I was, I'd just been made, obviously I was on furlough from my job in recruitment. Then I was made redundant after the furlough. And then I got a new job in recruitment, got made redundant again because of the COVID. And so I had really no choice. So I said to one of my friends, I said, yes, let's do it. And it kind of just went from there, really. I'm nearly 2 years in now and really busy. And yeah, here I am.
That's amazing.
That is a really great story. Really, honestly, I got made redundant twice as well in lockdown, but I feel like the blessings do happen.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. It
is amazing. And that, when you said you didn't put yourself out there, did you look at social media and go, time to make an Instagram account? Or
yeah. So basically, when the jobs got harder, so I'd get a pair of shoes in. So I was like, can you do that with these? And I was like, okay, well, now I'm going to have to do a little bit of research, see if anyone else has done it before. Obviously, YouTube comes into it and things like that. So I started sort of self-teaching and things like that. And then when I found out that there were actually companies, particularly in London and up north, that do this full time. They have shops and, you know, like some like units where they will go out, they'll do a route where they pick up hundreds of pairs of shoes, take them back to their unit, restore, you know. So I knew there were companies about. And one thing all these companies had was a strong social media. So it got to the point where I was like, I'm going to have to, because my personal accounts were just going mental as well. I had to separate it. And so yeah, I threw together this really clip-arty badge that I've got here. Wow. And and I just made myself an Instagram page and a Facebook page, and here I am.
Yeah, that's awesome. And was there a moment where you deliberately made a social media strategy? Like, did you say, I can do a before and after? Or did you just initially just post photos, just random photos?
No, so, I mean, before and afters were what I was posting from the very beginning.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I mean, you can't sell a product unless you show how good it is. Yeah. So yeah, it was first things first was let's get pictures out of what I've done, and begging my friends to follow and share the page as well. You know, everyone does that when they start up a new page, don't they? Please share, please share.
Everyone does that.
Yeah. And then this really strange thing happened where my share button disappeared on Facebook.
What?
Yeah, really crazy. You know, like when you go on a page and it says share with friends, that button just went.
Okay.
And
interesting.
I've never heard of that. That's
it's
really
not on
weird.
there now. It's not on there. So
and even on your phone, like the app, or
it's gone. It's just not there. Which is really, really strange. And I sent numerous messages to Facebook and I got nothing back. But
that's always pointless.
Yeah.
Meta is a nightmare.
So I was literally relying on people sharing the posts rather than going onto my page and pressing the share page with friends button, you know, that is normally there.
Sure.
So I mean, most of my growth and everything has come from word of mouth and people just sharing the page.
Yeah, nice. Was there a moment where, because like something that we've noticed is you're not just doing friends trainers now, you're doing bigger clients.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say social media helped you get to that stage?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously it's helped because that's how they contacted me.
Sure. Was it just like a DM then or something? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, it was.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I had a couple of the Southampton youth players get in touch first. Really nice lads. It's a bit annoying really because they've all gone on loan now.
Yeah.
So it's like there's some trainers now I'm not going to be seeing for the next year or so now. So yeah, it was a couple of the Saints youth players initially. And then I don't know whether or not they spoke to the first team guys. But yeah, I had like Jan Valerie sent me a voice message, which was strange because it was just weird. I don't normally get voice messages, and there's like Jan Valerie saying, "I've got some sneakers, can you clean them for me?" And as a big Saints fan, it was kind of like a bit of a fanboy moment. Talking to all my mates, going, "I've got Jan Valerie in my inbox." So, but yeah, it went from Jan Valerie, and then Mo Salisu as well got in touch. So, yeah, it's gone good. Yeah, a couple of the local up and coming boxers as well.
Yeah, we've seen that. I mean, that is crazy, really, when you think about it. But Jan Valerie sending a voice note as well. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's one of those moments where you surely just got to look back. You got to look back at when you're in the flat with the trainers everywhere.
Yeah, that's it.
Go, okay, started there. Now this is happening.
Yeah. I mean, I'll try and stay as grounded as possible, but I do like to celebrate the small wins as well. So when you invited me on today, I was really quick to sort of share it and say I've been invited onto my first podcast, you know, and the fact that you've got Saints, the fact that I've got Saints players booking in or up and coming boxers, which in a year's time, then boxers could be world champions or European champions and things like that. I can say, yeah, I've done business with them, you know. So, and haven't grown up as a Saints fan, you know, I'm 38 now, but I've supported Saints my entire life. So having a Saints player come in and, you know, sort of say, "Oh no, great job," and all that, it's kind of a bit surreal, but yeah, it's good. I know I've got my own children as well, so having them come in and meet them.
Yeah, we saw that. That's really good as well that they stopped and had that time. It's really, really good.
Yeah, that's so nice to hear. Is there any advice that you would give a business that was in a similar situation to you? Like, what did you go through? What's a lesson you learned that you could share?
I think one lesson would be to don't overthink the whole social media thing. Like, we all know algorithms are there and things like that. And at first, that fried my brain. So I just thought, how can I do this to get maximum from it? Mm-hmm. And I spent so much time, like, what do I post? When do I post? And I think in the end, I just ended up posting often.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just as often, you know, maybe 3-4 times a day. I'll do one at 7 o'clock, one at lunchtime, maybe one early afternoon, then one in the evening. And I just do that every single day. Yeah. And I know there's an algorithm there, but to me, it's just like, just post, just get it out there. Just, you know, that's what my advice would be to someone that's starting up a small business that relies on social media, would be just get your stuff out there. Don't read too much into this. You
use stories really well, I think, as well. Daily updates, just go, guys, I'm going to be late, I'm doing this. All those sort of stuff as well, I think that you've smashed, which helps. First thing that I look at is stories on my phone. So I'm like, okay, what's going on? Yeah. Instant update, she'll give it.
Yeah, that point you say about don't worry about the algorithm, just post. That's echoed so frequently by platforms themselves. Like, there's a YouTube channel that's really valuable called YouTube Creators, and it's run by YouTube. Like, it's YouTube's own channel in a way. And they post advice and update to creators. So one of the things we've updated this new feature. You can press this button, blah, 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 whatever. But one of the things they did recently was, like a couple of days ago, I watched it this morning. It was about the algorithm. And they said, here's how the search and discovery feature works in algorithm, something like this. And the ongoing like lesson that they're trying to teach in this is that here's how it works. But ultimately, it won't matter if you're not posting content that's good. Ultimately, just post content that your audience wants. Yeah. And the algorithm will just pick it up if it's regular enough, if it's frequent enough. If you try to mathematically work out the algorithm too much, then you won't succeed. There are certainly things you can do to help. Yeah, of course. There are definitely something. Yeah. There's a few algorithm like little features that you can work out, but ultimately, if you're like you say trying to fry your brain to work it out, then no, just post.
I think a lot of people, good content. A lot of people dwell on that a lot, and I just think once I'd come to terms with look, just relax and get your stuff out there, little and often, then I think that's probably would be my advice to someone.
Yeah, it does depend on the individual business as well, of course, because there'll be some businesses who find it better for their audience to post rarely, but make it like a big splash, like a big high quality piece of content that they take ages making, and that works for them. Yeah, whereas with you, because it's trainers, it's just an object that's right there, you can easily go click and then it's done.
And I do get a lot of people as well that they won't get in contact with me until they see their trainers. So like,
that's something I was thinking.
They'll see like I'll bang out, I'll do 5 posts in a day, and it will be a pair of Dior, a pair of Prada, a pair of Adidas. It could be anything at all. But until I post that one pair which someone has got already that's waiting to be cleaned, and they say right, he could do it anyway. I know he could, but they want to see their shoe or the same model of their shoe clean. They wait for that as well. So that's why I try and post as many as I can, because I know there's someone waiting to see their shoe. So
I thought that when you were saying about it all being uniform, I thought, I bet there's someone at home waiting for their one pair of Adidas trainers that's in their wardrobe waiting to come
Can
up.
he do these?
Yeah.
Can he do these? Yeah.
Yeah, I bet. Well, this is a big question, the biggest question of the day. Do you call them trainers or sneakers?
Okay, so this is a mixed bag.
It
this
is.
one. Yeah. So growing up, it was trainers, always trainers, always trainers. So, but now with the whole trainer sort of thing at the moment, it's blown up massively, and it's become quite Americanized now.
Absolutely.
So many people are, obviously wearing your Jordans and things like that. So, and more and more people are calling them sneakers. Yeah. So, for me personally, it's trainers, but sneakers is getting in there a little bit more. Yeah. So, and I'll try and use TREDZ as well as much as I can, obviously. So yeah, it's I'll try and.
There's a phrase sneakerhead. You don't get trainerhead.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, that was. Yeah. So maybe, you're right, Americanized. There are so many things being Americanized. Yeah, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's
of course not.
It's just the way that cultures shift, isn't it? Yeah. And words and language is culture.
Yeah, so I think it works. There's a big sort of cocktail at the moment of good trainers, a certain type of music, and a certain sort of social circle that someone might have.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, I think. And again, that takes me back to what you were saying about when I post other things. I might post maybe a song because I know that a lot of my followers may like that type of music. So it's just to keep things fresh. But definitely I would. Sneakers is definitely working its way in there.
Yeah, fair. I think that is the way with a lot of things. Like Americanization, and there was that's not a thing new either. Like, say, go back to the 80s. Like in American hip hop, trainers or sneakers were everything. They were well up there. So that's not even like a new thing. You know. Totally. It's strange though, because like you say, you're doing lots of different types of shoe. Mm-hmm. And from what I could see in my research is that your video with the most views, and correct me if I'm wrong, is high heels. So it's not even trainers or sneakers. It's like high-heeled shoe. And that's your video with the most views. Yeah. So how do you interpret that as someone who's a content creator, where you go, there's one piece of content I did that's a bit different and has suddenly got the most views?
I don't know. I think there's a few ways you could interpret that. I think it has the most views, but I don't know if it's got the most likes.
Sure.
So I think there's other posts that have got the most likes, and it's, again, this is another one of those things where, like what we were saying about the algorithm, it's like, what's more important, a post that gets looked at more or a post that is liked more? Because you see people saying, like this, please like it, and then a lot of people go on about views. So, but I think the reason why that post was quite popular is because it was something different. Yeah. It's a high-end pair of shoes, which a lot of people probably would never have worn again, and now that particular lady can wear them again. So so she don't have to go out and spend 500, 600, 700 quid on a new pair, or spend £200 or £300 sending them off to Lou Bootin or Lou Bootin.
Yeah.
Always get muddled on pronunciation of that one, but she doesn't have to send them off and get them sorted by them either. She just gave them to me, and I'll put them back to what they should look like.
Did a good job as well. Yeah. They came in rough.
Yeah, and I think a lot of them views wouldn't have just been from female either. A lot of them would have been from a lot of my regulars that have gone, Jesus, look what he's done here, and then they've passed on to their missus.
That's it. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, and things like that. So it's But again, that was a job I enjoyed doing because that was the first time I'd ever done that. Right. So I'm glad that one got out there and people enjoyed that.
Yeah. You're right about looking at a different metric. So as you say, views versus likes. What's important to a business? Ultimately, does a view make you more money? No. And a like is more likely to lead to another client.
That's it.
So it's up to you to, as a social media content creator and as a business owner to decide what makes it.
And it was such a short video as well that, it doesn't, I think the video was only 20 seconds long or something like that, or not even that, I don't think. So yes, it's a view, but it's not taken anything out of anyone's day. They could have just been scrolling through, saw it, and then carried on scrolling. So, like you say, does views equal more work? You don't know.
Yeah, fair. Well, have you ever considered expanding into other content like that? So maybe if you did see that was doing something different, that was just a different job, so a different project, not necessarily, that's not deliberate. Have you ever thought, okay, maybe I should try a new type of content? Maybe I should do some kind of where you're filming the process. Have you thought something like that?
I have thought about that, but I don't want to give away the secrets.
That is a good answer.
Yeah. So you'll be very surprised at how many people come in and go, so how do you do it? And then it's like I don't want to be rude to anyone, you know what I mean? But I don't want to give away what I do, because I do a lot of what I do is different to what a lot of other trainer restorers do. There's lots and lots of cleaning fluids and things you can buy in your, if you go into Shoe or Foot Locker, you can buy trainer cleaning stuff there. I don't use any of that. So it's just one of those.
It's interesting. I bought, I think it's Crep Protect from JD years ago. They had wipes, right? But I had to use, I remember, about 3 or 4 to really get it a decent amount. But they're not cheap, these products either, in these stores. They're not No,
that's it. It's but yeah, so when you say things about, would you ever record yourself doing it? I think I would prefer to make my before and after videos a little bit higher quality and maybe perhaps a little bit longer rather than show the process, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. And you say you would like to do that. Does that mean you've actually put some thought towards this? Or is it just a back in the mind?
No, well, I'm not serious thought. Everyone's on TikTok at the moment. Sure. And I've spoken to a couple of guys that come in that I do cleans for, and one of them's a popular local DJ, and he said you have to be on TikTok. He said because it can be quite localised for, say, Southampton and things like that. He said you have to be on TikTok, but it's finding the time to, because it's so much editing and putting a video together, and it's just... so finding the time. But I've spoken to my missus and she's open to taking control of the TikTok account.
That could be a really good little partnership of social media versus the business thing. She could go, because if someone's owning that process, they get so creative. They could do all kinds of things that you don't have time for. Or that's what an agency's for.
As well. There is that. But there's a few things with TikTok that doesn't quite drag me in. And a lot of it I find is around the trends on there. So
it is.
A lot of the most popular videos I find on TikTok, like 9 times out of 10 find their way to Instagram as well.
Yeah.
They've all got a certain type of song over the top, a particular song. Do you understand what I'm saying? So like, it will be a song that's really popular at the time, and I personally can't stand pop music, so I'm not going to put that song on one of my videos. And if it means, and I wouldn't want to do that in order to just gain views.
Sure.
I wouldn't want, you know what I mean? I feel like I'd be doing myself a sort of a disservice. So
that's so real.
Yeah, I don't know. It's selfish in a way, but in a way I want to keep, like I say, I'll try to put my personal touch on things when it comes to Tenchy'sTREDZ. So
I feel like your personal community as well would be like,
what is this?
Yeah, exactly that.
Yeah.
Wow, when you think about that, is there any other brand that we can think of that does that? Where like the founder, because of course with Tenchy'sTREDZ, it's while successful right now, it's still small.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Whereas if I'm thinking back to other brands, is there any other brand that has a few hundred employees, like a big famous brand, where the founder is like, nah, I'm not having that in my TV advert. You know what I mean? Like, how big does it get? Like, if you reach a certain level,
when you reach a certain level, and you know you've got certain overheads and you've got people to pay and things like that, and you expand and you're in a bigger unit and things like that. I suppose those are decisions that become easier to make because you want to be out there as much as you want, and you know, and you just. But I suppose at the moment, while I'm a little bit more personable and I'm a little bit more connected to to the followers and the little community that's there, I want to keep it sort of that way.
I said it's a smart decision. My hairdresser's the same, and he said, he wouldn't expand and get another one on because everyone would come to him, and it's the same. Say if you brought someone else on, I feel like they'd be like, no, I want to come to you. I want to have a chat. I want to have a catch up. Yeah. So it's interesting.
Yeah, I think that's probably the sign of. I mean, it's a sign that you really care about your business. That's awesome, and you really care about your social media platforms. That's cool. And yeah, like that probably happens all the time. And you think a co-founder is really putting themselves and their personality into their business. That's really cool. We mentioned earlier that the boxers and the athletes that you're working with. You shared reshared a post on Instagram the other day onto your Instagram story of a boxing match, like promoting the match. And was that because that was connected to the client you had at that time or something? Or was it just you being a fan of boxing?
I can't remember what particular post that was, but it probably would have been just that I'm a boxing fan.
Right. See, that's cool. That's what I'm getting at.
I'm a boxing fan. I know that a lot of the followers follow boxing as well. So and it sparks conversation. You know, it might get someone in the inbox that wasn't thinking about booking their trainers in, that now want to book in because they've had a chat. So,
absolutely.
Well, that's more of you putting your personality into it. That's cool. That's not a bad thing at all. No, definitely not. What would you say the next 3 months looks like versus 12 months versus 5 years? Do you think about that, or not even think about that?
That is the question. No, I constantly think about it to the point where sometimes I can't sleep at night. It drives my missus crazy because I'm constantly on my phone, constantly trying to think of ways, how can I maximise this? The next 3 months, I'd say the next 3 months to a year are going to be pretty hands-on for me. Just to continue what I'm doing, just keep plugging away. I'm still a very, very young business. You know, I'm not too sure on what the statistics are, but I think 1 in 5 startups closes within the first
in the first year
or so.
I'm not even surprised to hear that.
Early years.
I would thought it'd be higher than that. To be honest.
And I think a lot of that can be down to, there's many reasons, but a lot of it could be down to boredom or, just growing tired of working and things like that. And I don't feel that at all. I'm just constantly like trying to bang on. So, so I think the next sort of 3 to 12 months are going to be pretty hands-on, just plugging away, doing what I'm doing, to continue to grow the pages and the client base. But then after that, who knows? There is a bigger picture. I do want to, eventually the dream is to have a team to perhaps step away and have it working away in the background while I'm overseeing things, or maybe I could take on a more, more precise, a different part of the restoration process, and have other people doing cleans. There's lots of different avenues and things I could go into doing bags. I could go into doing hats. There's lots of different things I could go into doing.
Releasing your own shoe.
That's another one. Yeah, I mean, I've customized a few pairs that I've got at home, and I've always thought about doing a Tenchy'sTREDZ shoe. But again, it's finding time to find suppliers. Talk to the right people. It's just everything revolves around time at the moment.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and cost as well. Cost is a big thing, but it's just finding time. But releasing my own shoe would be brilliant. I don't know whether or not anyone will wear it though.
If you pictured tomorrow posting on your socials saying, "Guys, anyone be interested if I released a Tenchy's shoe?" Do you reckon you'd get some positive comments? People like,
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I'm brave enough to put that out, to be fair. Yeah. I guess it depends on. I guess it depends on what it looks like. I mean, all of the shoe brands start somewhere, and I think a good example is Mallet.
Yeah, we talked about him before.
Yeah, I think a good example was Mallet. So he didn't have a shoe. There was once upon a time he never had any shoes with his name on it, and now there's shoes with his name on it, and people love it. So it's who knows? But I think that's a question for a lot further down the line.
Yeah. Is there any other brands that do that? I'm thinking, is there like a famous watch brand or something, or car brand that started off doing service and then just invented their own? I don't know. Well, next question is a big one then. So you must look at social media yourself. No, you're not just posting, you're also browsing. Mm-hmm. Is there any special brand or other account that you'd like to do a collaboration with as Tenchy'sTREDZ?
In the same sector or what?
Anything, I suppose. Like if you think, you say, I'd love to do some kind of a collaborative thing with a holiday, like a cruise line, because then whatever, we can do some of my trainers getting cleaned after they've climbed Mount Everest or whatever. Okay. You know what I mean? Is there any brand that you think would be cool to make social media contact with as a collaboration?
That's a difficult question, because you could go along the lines of celebrity, or I mean, I've this weekend went to see one of my favourite bands called The Manor. I don't know if you've ever heard of The Manor, but I went to see them this weekend in London, and they're not world famous, but they're famous enough. Do you know what I mean? And there's so much scope for them to grow and be massive. So a collaboration with them would be good, because I feel like they're at a sort of point in their career where they've got a large UK based following. You know what I mean? And to do something with them would be quite good, because they're just three lads from London. They make relatable music, and to do a collaboration, which maybe a shoe, like you just said there about designing a shoe, which has got maybe one of their lyrics on it or something like that. That would be quite cool.
Mm-hmm. Would be. Yeah. Well, what about not even to do with work then? Nothing to do with work. What are your favourite creators on social media? That could be like YouTube or anything. Who are your favourite people that you like?
At the moment, I'm listening to a lot of Joe Rogan.
Yep, as a podcaster.
Yeah. So, a lot of the boxing stuff as well. So Ifl Tv, have you ever heard of Ifl?
No.
So they do. They get a lot of access, a lot of behind the scenes access to a lot of the boxing events, and they spend a lot of time with a lot of the big promoters, so like Eddie Hearn, Frank Warren, so they make a lot of good stuff, because they get right up close and personal and right in the nitty gritty of the boxing stuff. So. Yeah, so Ifl, Joe Rogan, the Hodge Twins. Ever heard of the Hodge Twins?
No.
Over in
I'm
America?
liking these names though.
No, the Hodge Twins. So they're quite good. I like watching stuff that gets you asking questions about your own, sort of your own beliefs and things. So
sure.
Yeah, that's Joe Rogan.
That's Joe Rogan. Yeah.
But he'll question the existence of aliens or something.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
at least did in the old days.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, no. So any of those, pretty much everybody listens to Joe Rogan, don't they?
Yeah, so basically. Whether you like him or hate him, you can't deny that there's a reason why he's the leader of podcasts. It's because his podcast is really entertaining. Yeah. At least this is me saying it as someone who hasn't listened in a while, but before he went to Spotify, I listened a lot, and if you're into podcasts, you probably would have given Joe Rogan a listen at some point. Yeah. That's very interesting stuff. Very interesting stuff. We did you see the list of trainers? Yeah, you have. Okay.
Yeah,
I've seen it. Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. Nice. Okay, cool. Yeah, Freddie, I don't know if you want to introduce your trainer.
Yeah, so we've got...
I'm going to change mine, by the way, from that.
Hey,
We've
got...
Oh, okay. So you're going to try and catch me off guard now.
Yeah,
Couple drop. We got the team have sent in their favourite trainers, so we want you to basically rate or hate couple drop them.
Okay.
No pressure.
Right.
So starting off with Keenan, who's our graphic designer, he's got some Converse Chuck Taylor All-Stars. Never heard of him before he sent them over. Cop or drop?
Definitely cop, yeah.
Yeah, they are.
There's going to be, you'll see there's a theme to my cop or drop, and it's mainly down to my age.
I like that. Yeah, no, that's cool. I like that.
But yeah, I'd cop those, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know much about shoes, but I know those.
Yeah.
Like, those are nice shoes.
See, I didn't even know before he sent over.
You will know them. Like they're like really famous shoes.
Yeah.
It's just they never really named. Like they're in films and stuff.
Converse have never suited me. I tried the old, is it Comme des Garçons? You know, with the Love Heart brand.
Yeah.
Those just don't suit me.
They're popular at the moment.
Yeah, they just don't suit me. Next one is a classic, right? Caught me off guard. It did. From Tasha. We've got Air Max 90s.
Yeah. So they're the only Air Max that I would cop. They're the only Air Max that I cop. I'm not a big air bubble fan.
Interesting.
Yeah. So mainly because you can't repair them once they're popped.
Sure, yeah.
So if I could repair air bubbles, I would be a very rich man, put it that way. But yeah.
Would they be repaired by the manufacturer?
So a lot of people don't know this, but Nike do actually have, they don't make it public, but they do actually have like a manufacturer's warranty when it comes to their bubbles. So if you can prove that it was a malfunction, they will send out a new pair to you. I think it's within the first year, and and you've got proof of purchase. But if they can prove, or if they can see that it's not, you haven't stabbed it or something like that, then they'll replace it. But a lot of people don't know that.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
No, I used to have Vapor Max, with all the
and
one pops.
Yeah, that's it.
Is that that's it ruined?
It's the squeaky.
Yeah, and you're
slouchy
walking,
noise,
and you're like, oh.
Yeah. So I'm not a big fan of air bubbles myself, but yeah, no, they're because they've only got a small one at the back, haven't they? So
yeah.
So yeah, I'd cop those.
And then we've got Jordan 4s from our boss James. He's really into his trainers. I asked this question, he sent about 10 through, and I was like, pick one.
Yeah. So I like Jordan 4s. I like a lot of the Jordan stuff. But again, when it comes to me, I like Jordan 4, the shape and the silhouette of the shoe. I love it. What I don't like is when people start wearing the same shoe. So you see a lot of the same shoe about if you're walking through town or...
Well, what do you mean?
So
someone who doesn't know what...
So a specific... So there's a uni blue colour,
right,
for instance, a uni blue made one. A lot of people wear that shoe, and it's a lovely shoe.
Right.
But I'm one of these where I'm like, I wouldn't wear that because you see it everywhere. It's almost a pandemic. It's almost a pandemic of the same shoe.
Yeah, it's like your hatred of pop music.
It's similar to that. And I get a lot of stick. It's like, oh, it's because it's popular. You don't like it, And it's like, no, it's just like wear something different. Like I've got Jordan. I've got Jordans in my cupboard, and I've got one particular pair I've never seen anyone else wearing. It's just it's a Jordan Horizon. It's not even like a well-known, high-end, well sought after shoe. But because I've never seen anyone else wearing that particular shoe or that colour, I love it.
Yeah, sure.
And when I wear them, they catch people's attention. So I do like the Jordan 4, definitely cop, but just different colours, people. Come on.
Colour.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, that's like the Yeezys. I've got the Zebra Yeezys on today, but since I won them in a raffle, here's a story for you. I entered a raffle with size, and it was either London, Manchester, or Birmingham. I thought Birmingham was close. I literally never thought I'd win. Evening before, got an email saying you won. And I was like, am I gonna really drive to Birmingham to get these shoes? And I was like, yeah.
Did they take your money out of your bank account?
No. So I paid when I got up there, drove up. I was in Birmingham for 20 minutes, dead on, and then came back. But since I got them, they've re-released them twice, and it's the same thing. It's like, you've ruined it now, Kanye. You've ruin the whole thing.
That's another thing that kind of gets me as well, is the whole raffle thing on certain releases, where you have to enter a raffle for the right to buy a shoe.
Yeah.
Oh, so you didn't win the shoe?
You didn't win the shoe free on the raffle.
Oh,
you enter the raffle for the right to buy it.
God, Kanye knows what he's doing, doesn't he? Bloody
that's it. Yeah, and that's that again. That will be the same with Jordans.
Right. Okay.
I've got there's Yeezys. It could be even Adidas do like what's called a city series. So they'll do like Adidas Stockholm, Adidas Manchester.
Oh, I think I've seen them.
You know, a lot of the football guys wear them. A lot of the guys that go to the stadium, they call it casual wear, don't they? Football casuals.
Yeah.
They'll do it with those as well. So not even particularly expensive shoes. Those shoes are like 90 quid a pair, and they'll still raffle them off to people that just want them. So, but yeah.
And then a classic from Amy, who's our social media executive, is Air Force Ones. They're coming out. Everyone wants them.
Yeah. So at the moment, we're actually in a drought of Air Force Ones. So I'm getting a lot of people bringing their Air Force Ones in for cleans now, because you can't, up until a couple of weeks ago, you could not get your hands on a pair.
Oh, yeah, I saw.
So my answer to this one is another strange one. So when I was, I'd say probably about 15, 16, 17 years ago, I'm showing my age now, I used to wear Air Force Ones, and they never used to crease like they do now.
So
crease when you bend your...
When you see that crease.
Yeah, so I used to, back when I used to wear them, they weren't as expensive as they are now, and they never used to crease. They used to pretty much be bomb-proof. But now it's like they're just whipping them out, cheaper materials, and that crease across the toe. When people see that, it's game over.
That is the worst. When I first got one, I honestly used to step like...
without bending your foot. Yeah.
My missus would be like, what are you doing? I'd be like, I can't get that crease. And now they're all creased.
I used to buy mine half a size down, so they physically wouldn't. It used to mangle my toes, but I used to. It was a risk worth taking. Yeah. But yeah. So back in the day, I loved them, but they're not a shoe I would go and buy now, just because of the fact that they don't really last as long.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. Yeah. Last two from myself and George is Balenciaga Triple S's, right? My missus always takes a mick because she was like, oh, you go over 6 foot when you wear them. But cop or drop. Drop.
Oh,
my heart.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, this is because it's just, I think I've missed the boat on that one. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a little bit out there, and it's so big. It's such a big shoe, and they are not easy to clean either. They are not easy to clean because there's so many different layers.
Yeah.
Are they the ones with the 2 sets of laces?
No, my ones are, they have one set, but they are levels, and they're all different textures. Somehow, just patterns and all that. And I got mud in it once, and I was like, oh mate, like it's gonna take me forever. Yeah.
Yeah, I know that there's another model as well, the Triple S, that have 2 sets of laces, and they're kind of all in twine like this. And my God, they are murder to lace up.
You wouldn't want to relace them, would you?
Yeah, they're murder. Luckily enough, there is a YouTube tutorial on how to do it, but you have to have it on super slow mo because matey that does it is so fast. But so yeah, I couldn't wear those. If I put a pair of those on, my missus would be like, "How old are you, mate?" you know what I mean? So yeah, they're a drop, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, I've changed my answer for me personally, just because I wasn't here when we did that little Q&A. So my actual answer is probably these, which I own, and I just love them. I don't know what the label is. I got them from Zara, but it's just these nice pink retro trainers. Okay. Well, and that's it. It's nothing special.
Yeah, I mean they look like a lot like an Air Force One.
Okay,
similar shape, size, same silhouette. So I wouldn't wear that colour because I don't have a T-shirt that's that colour. Okay. I like to match my T-shirt and my shoes. Right, so I wouldn't particularly wear that colour. But
I have a watch that's
oh really?
Same colour.
Okay,
so
that's cool.
I have a watch and a hoodie. That's the same colour
sound.
As that,
so I think if you can match it up with your clobber, then that's sound. But
Right.
So a different colour I would cop.
Okay.
But that colour, unfortunately, not for me.
Okay, fair. Understandable.
I love it.
We got the two drops of the whole list.
Sorry.
Don't tell anyone. Edit it out.
It's okay, yeah. Yeah, that's all good. It's been wonderful talking to you, Luke. Thank you so much.
No, thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming down.
Yeah,
No, thank
really,
you, boys.
really interesting stuff. It's so interesting that you kind of fell into it and then just posting, as you say, just to post, and then it's picked up.
Yeah.
Always quite interesting when that happens. So if anybody listening to this has enjoyed what we've been talking about today, then please give us a like, give us a follow for a new episode. Check out Tenchy'sTREDZ as well. We're going to be linking Tenchy'sTREDZ. But yeah, really interesting Instagram account doing before and afters of amazing shoe cleaning. But yeah, otherwise, I am George. We also have
Freddie
and
Luke.
And it has been a pleasure to speak to you. See you next time on the Shogun
Thanks for
Social
having me.
Podcast.
Bye.
Cheers.
Bye bye.